There's an intelligence that's giving us life. It's keeping my heart beating and digesting my food and organizing trillions of functions per second in every cell of my body. I'm not doing that. I'm having a conversation with you as a free-willed, subjective consciousness. But there's an intelligence within me that's always endorsing who I'm being. And that intelligence is a giver of life.
Welcome to Good Vibes. We are dedicated to raise your vibration to make you inspired and make your day. Before we start, hit the subscribe button and the bell button next to it. As you see, most of you guys that enjoy our videos aren't subscribed. So subscribe and don't miss our new videos. Enjoy the video.
When your will matches its will, when your mind matches its mind, when your love for life matches its love for life, it begins to work in ways that are mysterious. Now, why is that important? Because the mysterious is the unknown, and the unknown is unexpected, and the unexpected should bring a surprise, and that surprise should be outside of my current beliefs. If it's happening, how could I expect the supernatural to happen if I'm expecting it to happen? It's impossible. But if I'm in the unknown and I'm open to possibility, then I should be able to create an unknown experience that I can't predict the emotion or the future event of how it's going to occur or when it's going to occur. It's not my job. And the side effect of that is this mysterious surprise that changes my biology from the new experience and then causes me to change my beliefs. And I've had enough of my own mystical moments. In the midst of that mystical experience, I have said in the midst of it, I have this all wrong. I have said it right in the midst of the experience. I am doing this so wrong because I was so programmed into this box of belief. But the only way the unexpected could happen is giving up expectation, which means you have to surrender that belief. How it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, I can't predict that. So then, that same intelligence that's giving me life according to the quantum model of reality is the same intelligence that's creating supernovas and causing flowers to bloom. It's within us and all around us. It's a very wave of quantum physics. I can't control that. I can't expect how the particle is going to appear or when it's going to appear, but it's not my job. My job is to move into different states of being and be open to the mystery of how it's going to happen. So, if I said to you today, Ben, that I had all the answers to everything, I would certainly be limiting this conversation. But I am open to the mystery of life. And the mystery of life then means that if we're asking certain questions, and we even speculate that it's possible, then someone has to step out of their present beliefs to see if it is. And so I'm not interested in the natural. I'm not interested in the normal. I'm interested in the supernatural, the supernormal. And I believe, from my present state of ignorance, of course, if we're going to use the word belief, that you don't have to be a Buddhist monk. You don't have to be a nun with 40 years of devotion. You don't have to be a religious scholar. You don't have to be a researcher. You don't have to have a PhD to do this. That common people around the world can do the uncommon. And if they're given the right understanding and the environment is set up where they can begin the application of that. And I have looked at over 1,000 brain scans of people in meditation. And I can tell you that you and I are at our absolute best when we get beyond our analytical mind. When we get beyond ourselves. That's the moment that the brain gets so organized and so coherent. The front of the brain's talking to the back of the brain, the right side of the brain's talking to the left side of the brain. There's this synchronization, this psychic union going on.
Like a flow.
And the person has tears of joy rolling down their face. That gestalt moment, that transcendent event for the person is completely subjective. But my interest is measuring that subjective experience.
True.
And we're capturing amplitudes of energy in people's brains that are 26,000 to 40,000 times normal during that experience. Now, They can't make their brain do that. It's happening to them. And the inner event that's happening to them is more real than any past event. And that's the moment I know their belief is changing. And look, if we're measuring normal, we're going to get normal. I mean, for years, the idea that you couldn't grow new brain cells or couldn't change the brain in some way, that was a belief. And you know why? Because the scientist that was doing the experiment was studying rodents in an unchanging environment. How could there ever be any new connections or new circuitry or new brain cells if there's no new experiences? So I think in the age of information, in the age of technology, ignorance is a choice. And people are beginning to go, hey, I don't need my doctor to tell me about this. I can get on the internet and read it. Hey, I'm going to read a book on quantum physics and I'm going to ask the mysterious questions. I'm going to step outside of convention myself. So once you step outside of convention, you will be considered foolhardy or insane until you're able to produce some type of change. Then you're considered a saint, a holy man, a mystic, a genius. Dare to be original. So I think the camp is divided in a very big way. That's the reason why I'm doing all the measurements. Because I want people to understand that the person that healed themselves of that condition, that traumatic brain injury, I want to show you that their brain is better. They're not just saying, I feel better. No, they are better. I want them to see that. Now, they didn't do that with a drug. They didn't do that with a therapy. They didn't do that with anything except by thought alone. And they made those biological changes. So, to answer the question, the camp is divided in many ways. The old paradigms, and then the new understandings and the new paradigms. And then there's this little kind of bridge in between, and we're only as good as the people that are willing to execute it. In other words, you got to be skilled at this, right? You got to be skilled at this. So if you're not skilled at it, we're not going to see any changes. So imagine 500 people or 450 people coming to an event, a workshop, and we are going to help them cross that river and to become conscious of their unconscious thoughts. You know, the ones that say, you can't, it's too hard, this will never happen, I can't change, I'm too this, I'm too old, I'm too that. Get beyond what their habits are, what they say unconsciously. Do they complain? Do they blame? Do they make excuses? Do they feel sorry for themselves? They're a program. They talk about others. Then look at their emotional states. Oh my God, I've been guilty for the last 30 years. I didn't even know I was guilty. It just felt like me. I've been unworthy. I didn't even know I was unworthy. It just felt like who I am. And all of a sudden, they start becoming conscious of that. And then they start creating a new change for themselves. And one by one, you start seeing these breakthroughs. You start measuring those breakthroughs. You get people on the stage talk about their breakthroughs, show their brain scan, show their heart rate monitor, show the energy change. And I guarantee you, just like an infection can create a disease in a community, I believe that wellness can be as infectious as disease. And you start seeing traumatic changes happening in a small community of people who are outside of the conditioning of their environment. The science has to be done to measure it, but the measurements are only as good as our students. And if they're not doing the work, if they're not developing the ability to sustain brainwave states, if they're not getting beyond their analytical mind, because what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. And if a person doesn't get beyond their analytical mind, they'll still think within their belief. And I've measured enough brains to tell you is that when you think within your belief, or you think within those limited emotions, you are going to make your brain worse, without a doubt. It's only when you transcend that analytical mind that you start falling in to those subconscious programs and you begin to step into the autonomic nervous system where you can change your chemistry and your biology. So then if our students aren't good at doing that, then it's still a philosophical concept, pie in the sky principles. But what we want to do is we want to give people the knowledge, the information, and blend the sciences of possibility, whether it's quantum physics or neuroplasticity or neuroendocrinology or epigenetics or whatever it is, hormonal changes, psychoneuroimmunology. We want to give them the information and have them reason it. We want them to be able to turn to someone next to them and explain what they just learned, so they wire it in there. Sure. We want to give them the instruction and have them review the instruction, and then we want to put them into the experience. Not everybody is going to have the experience, but all we need is a few. And if that person or a series of people have that experience, that transformation, and we measure that transformation, that's more information to teach transformation the next time, because I can understand what took place. So our work is only as good as our students' ability to regulate and change those states. But I do know that if you give people the opportunity and they have enough times in their environment to apply it, you'll start seeing those transformations occur. And now we're stepping outside the paradigm of the human beings are limited, they're powerless, they need these external things to take care of them. I think it's time that we start taking a little bit more responsibility for these things and seeing if we're able to do it in a practical, measurable way. My God, I mean, we're programmable human beings. Yeah. If my doctor's enthusiastic about a new drug, I'm going to be enthusiastic too. But you know that blue pills work better than red pills. We know that if you name a drug that a person can't pronounce, they're going to be intimidated by the drug and they're going to surrender to it. If you charge more for the drug, it's going to work better. We would just know these things, so there's programmable things that are evident. But then, there are some very hard science things as well. Placebo works really well for pain. Placebo works really well for anxiety. Placebo works very well for inflammation. Placebo works very well for well-being. We know that. But in doing the research that we did and understanding how the placebo works and then teaching it, I am very pleasantly surprised at the effects that we produced that were way outside of what I expected. So the person's belief then that they could get better from their condition has added to the effect that they got better from their condition. So to me, there's so much of it that is belief. And when do I believe that germs create disease? Hardly. If I believe that germs create disease, and I was nervous about germs everywhere, in the crazy clinic that I used to be in quite a bit, but we have and run, with hundreds and hundreds of people moving through there, there's snot flying everywhere. If I believed in germs, I would be sick every day. I just don't believe that I'm susceptible to germs and that I need a flu shot. I don't believe that. I just don't. And I've never had a flu shot, and I very rarely get sick, but that's my belief. But some people believe that they need the flu shot. But no, it's programmed for a lot of people to think if they don't get the flu shot, they're going to get sick. So you watch a television commercial, and television commercials pay attention. They're dreams. Pay attention. They're going to create some weird, dreamy state. There's going to be some emotion that's created. And the moment the emotion's created, there's going to be a brand or a symbol. That's called programming. And so people stare into a tube and they are in trance and their brain's in alpha and they're accepting all of this information, and they have a headache, and the first thing they do is they think of what's going to take their headache away based on what they've been exposed to. Now you would say that's free will. That's not free will. That's informed choice based on what you know. Free will is based on the unknown.
I hope you enjoyed this amazing speech by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Before we start with complete the quote challenge, hit the subscribe button and the bell button next to it. As you see, most of you that enjoy my videos are unsubscribed, so subscribe and don't miss my new videos. We'll continue with our daily challenge. Can you complete the inspiring quote and give us the right answer? If you can do it first, you're the daily winner. Many of you knew the right answer the last time, so congratulations to everyone with the correct answer. We had a quote that belongs to Joe Dispenza. The quote goes like this: whenever you say I am anything, you're commanding your mind and your body towards, and the correct answer was a destiny. So, whenever you say I am anything, you're commanding your mind and your body towards a destiny. Today we also have the quote that belongs to Dr. Joe Dispenza. The quote goes like this: we don't perceive things the way they are, we perceive things the way. So we are looking for two words, and I'm sure you'll know the correct answer. Write your answer in the comments below the video. Even if you're not sure, try and guess. You might be the winner of this challenge. If you love this video and find it helpful, give your thumbs up and share it with your friends. Help me make this video more popular. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss my new videos and new challenges. So hit the bell button and you'll get noted when my new video is published. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day!